It's December 25th, 2024. It's Christmas Day. Once again, and for the 9th year in a row, we're getting together here on Christmas Past one final time for the season to celebrate and reflect. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I hope that wherever you are, and however you celebrate, and whoever you call family, that you're feeling the spirit and all those tidings of comfort and joy. Because it all led up to this. The 2024 Christmas season was another one for the books, where we collectively wrote the next chapter in the story of this celebration that's been with us in one form or another since the 4th century. And the big day is finally here. I hope Santa was good to you. I hope that you were able to keep the final rush relatively stress-free. I hope that today you've got plans you're looking forward to. And I hope that you'll be able to keep the Christmas spirit going just a bit longer as the season winds down. But facts are facts. Starting tomorrow, it's no longer Christmas, and Christmas of 2024 belongs to Christmas Past. So let's take a look back at the sights and sounds, the news and trends, and all the things that made Christmas of 2024 what it was, and the stuff of future Christmas memories. Speaking of which, let's have a Christmas memory. Of course, there is no place like home for the holidays, but people move to new homes all the time. Mark in Texas knows something about that. Here he is to tell us more.
My Christmas memory is 3 years ago. My dad sold our house in the Dallas suburbs where he had lived since the 1980s, where I had grown up and gone to school from kindergarten through high school, and moved an hour away out into the country. I wasn't too happy about the move, and I missed the memories we had made at the old place, but when my wife and I arrived at his new place on Christmas Eve, my dad answered the door dressed as Santa Claus. The whole red and white suit, black belt, fake beard, and it set a very jolly mood. We had a really good time, and on the way home, a deer ran in front of our car, startling us, but nevertheless putting sort of a magical capper on the evening, because when you live in Dallas-Fort Worth, you don't see a lot of deer. And we've continued to forge new traditions at his new house with my dad and the rest of my family. Thanks.
Well, where to begin? It was a short Christmas season this year. We think of the Christmas season as the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. But because Thanksgiving is on a day and not a date, the length of that period can vary by several days. This year was the shortest possible Christmas season at only 27 days. The next time we'll have the longest possible one will be in 2029. But here in 2024, we are definitely in the early days of this new age of artificial intelligence. Of course, it's going to influence all parts of our lives, including Christmas. We heard reports this year about people using ChatGPT to come up with Christmas ideas. Well, people have been typing things like gift ideas for mom into the search bars of Amazon and Etsy for years now, so I'm not sure how this is really all that much different. But what was different this year is that we got a Spanish language version of Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree using an AI-generated clone of Brenda Lee's voice. Pretty cool, and almost certainly a sign of more things to come. Now, Anne in Virginia may not be rocking around the Christmas tree, but her Christmas tree does sound pretty rockin'. Here she is.
We have a very kid-friendly tree. There are rows of popcorn and cranberries. All the ornaments on our tree are felt. Years ago in the mid-70s, when my brother was very young, my Nana gave my mom 3 felt ornaments. I think they were all 3 animals at that time. And she said someone at her work had given her those, for my mom wouldn't even want them. Well, my mom did take them and began using them on the tree. Each year when I was very young, my parents, my 2 older brothers, and I would go to the Outer Banks. When we were there, we would go over to the Christmas shop in Manio, and they had these exact same ornaments. Each child would pick out their yearly ornament. My 2 sisters-in-law both have their special ornament on the tree as well to represent them. The tree is not only so colorful and beautiful, but it is also full of family memories, identities, and love.
Were you around for Christmas in the 1980s? I was. And 1984 was an especially big year for the 80s generally, and Christmas specifically. So in 2024, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of Gremlins, Wham's Last Christmas, which made it to number 1 on the British charts this year, making it the first time that any Christmas song reached number 1 2 years in a row. Also, Band Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas, and the George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol. Happy 40th birthday and Merry Christmas to all of those. Now, one album that was not from 1984 was nevertheless a Christmas favorite of Dan in Pennsylvania, as he shares in this Christmas memory.
Growing up, me and my brother and sister would always listen to this album by the Caroliers. And on that album is a song called It's the Day Before the Night Before Christmas. And every year we get into a debate over what that date actually is. Some say it's the 23rd of December, and some say it's the daytime of the 24th before the evening of the 24th. But regardless, we always get into this debate every single year, and we never really come to a resolution on it because between our friends and extended family, it kind of always seems split down the middle.
Since we're talking about music, let's see what 2024 gave us. As always, there was a flood of new music. The new releases usually start coming out in the fall. Far too many to mention here, and of course we had releases from big names and independent artists. I had a chance to listen to new albums from Ben Folds, Jennifer Hudson, the Milk Carton Kids, Clay Aiken, Alicia Witt, Stella Cole, CeCe Winans, Anthony Evans, Little Big Town, and Tower of Power. Yes, I listen to a lot of music, and I'm sorry to do it, but I have to give 2024 a little bit of a bah humbug music-wise. In recent years, we've had excellent releases from Gregory Porter, Norah Jones, Brandy, Ingrid Michaelson, and Alicia Keys. This year, at least for me, there were no clear standouts. I will say that the albums from Alicia Witt and the Milk Carton Kids were the ones I listened to several times, so I guess maybe that's saying something. But here's hoping that 2024 kicks it up a notch. Well, one of my favorite Christmas songs tells us that through the years we all will be together. But of course, with the passage of time, we must say goodbye to certain people we've spent our lives celebrating Christmas with. That's something that's on the mind of Ryan from New Jersey this Christmas.
This holiday season, though still filled with plenty of joy surrounded by my family and friends, feels just a bit empty. Just this November, we lost my grandmother, affectionately known as Mum to all of her grandchildren, and Nana to my 3 wonderful children. She absolutely loved the Christmas season and brought so much joy to our entire family. I spent my first 38 Christmases with her, and this year will obviously feel a bit strange. But it also reminds me how important those who have left us are to our holiday season and memories. Each part of the season brings me such loving memories of her, and also my pop-up who passed away when I was a teen. Though sadness can be ever present, I've committed to embracing those wonderful memories, like taking her to the mall for her shopping when I first could drive, spending time with her decorating her home, helping her find the dozens of presents she purchased throughout the year and placed all about the house for various members of the family in preparation for the big day. Taking her to midnight mass, and of course these last 6 years, enjoying sharing her love and joy of the season with my children. My wish for everyone this and every holiday season is that they are able to remember their best times of the holidays with those that have left us, because they're still such an integral part of the celebration of the season. Wishing everyone a wonderful holiday season and a safe and happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Thank you for sharing that, Ryan, and I speak for the whole Christmas Past family when I say that I'm sorry for your loss. Let's talk about movies. Another big year with too many to keep up with. 2024 marks the 15th anniversary of the Hallmark Channel's Countdown to Christmas with their made-for-TV romance movies. They put out another 40 new movies this year, and faced increasing competition from other cable networks like Lifetime, ION, Great American Family, BET, and all those well-known streaming services. And the big news this season is that some of those holiday romances are getting a little PG-13. Not on the Hallmark Channel, of course, but on Lifetime and in Netflix's Hot Frosty. I suppose it was only a matter of time. For non-Hallmark style movies, we had action comedies like Red One on Netflix starring Dwayne Johnson, and Dear Santa on Amazon Prime starring Jack Black. For animation, there was That Christmas on Netflix and An Almost Christmas Story on Disney+. And in theaters, we got a new adaptation of Barbara Robinson's The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, and also Christmas Eve in Miller's Point featuring Michael Cera. And that was an interesting one. Not much of a plot, but it did a pretty good job of creating a specific kind of Christmas atmosphere. Worth checking out, but I don't think I'll be watching it again. Alright, enough about movies. How about some literature? Did you read A Visit from St. Nicholas last night? Or any time throughout the season? Of course I read it to little Dashiell last night. It's a tradition. Allison in Vermont can relate to that, but for her, there's a twist.
Every year on Christmas Eve growing up, my grandfather would read to us 'Twas the Night Before Christmas from the original book that he had when he was growing up as a child. Every year when he would read the book, he would stop at key points throughout the story and point to one of us to fill in the blank. One year, we were going through the portion where we had to name all of the reindeer, and he pointed to my Nonny, and my Nonny yelled out, "Seymour." Of course, this caused a lot of laughter amongst us all, and since then, anytime we get to the reindeer portion of the story, we will call out random reindeer names from Chet to Seymour, and so on. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away a few years ago, and my Poppy is also no longer with us, and this is the first Christmas without him. My dad has taken up the mantle of reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas to us now, and I'll never forget those wonderful memories, and we continue to keep that memory alive even now.
We also had some Christmassy TV specials, the kind featuring various celebrities, musical numbers, skits, and the like. Pop superstar Sabrina Carpenter hosted a Nonsense Christmas on Netflix, and NBC gave us a Motown Christmas featuring artists from Motown past and present, including the one and only Smokey Robinson, still sounding and looking great at 84 years old. Well, from Motown to Fog City, or the City by the Bay, as San Francisco is often called, we have this memory from Mira and how an act of kindness left a lasting impression over the years.
When I was a freshman in high school, I was very ill at Christmas time, and I could not sing with the San Francisco Girls Chorus. It was really tough. And a few days before Christmas, we got a doorbell ring, and on our step was my friend Gretchen, standing there with a Christmas tree decorated just for me. She had coordinated all of the choristers in my group to give me a kind note of assurance and friendship, and also a Christmas ornament from their heart. And after all these years, every year when I take out my Christmas ornaments, my souvenirs I've turned into ornaments, and my children's toys I've turned into ornaments, I take out a few of those lovely Christmas ornaments from many years ago, and I'm reminded about acts of friendship and kindness at this time of year that mean so much. So, if you're thinking of a simple act of kindness this year, you might never know it, but many years later, it just might be one of that person's favorite Christmas memories. Happy holidays.
A few trends we'll need to keep an eye on, in addition to the spicy movies and the AI. Porchscaping or doorscaping are newish terms. It just means Christmas decorating, but specifically for the front door or porch. And now retailers are selling decorating kits for that very purpose. We heard reports that for the Brits, some classic Christmas traditions are in decline. The Royal Mint commissioned a study that found that a staggering 77% of Brits had not heard of Stir-Up Sunday, and that only 4% actually observe it. Stir-Up Sunday is the last Sunday before Advent, and since Victorian times, that's been a day set aside for preparing the Christmas pudding. So, given that, it won't be surprising that nearly 60% of those surveyed said it's not important to have a Christmas pudding. Well, at least the mince pies are holding steady over there, so at least there's that. But Christmas without the pud, I couldn't imagine that, and I'm not even British. I make my own every year, and yes, I do it on Stir-Up Sunday. One of the most depressing findings from the survey found that while the number of those who have a Christmas pudding is declining, the number who are embracing the elf on the shelf is increasing. Times change, and not always for the better. But at least we'll always have our memories of how Christmas once was, like this one from Mary in Florida.
I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and that is where one of my favorite Christmas memories takes place. This particular memory involves all 5 senses. When I was younger, my parents took my siblings and me to visit my maternal grandmother each Christmas Eve. We were joined there by aunts and uncles and lots of cousins. We entered Grandma Wellandzone's humble home via the side door. The first thing that always hit me was the smell of overripe bananas that always seemed to be sitting in a basket just inside the door. The din in the small living room still rings in my ears, as adults and children seemed to be all talking at once. The excitement was building, of course, as we all waited for our envelopes from Grandma, which were usually filled with a $1 or $5 bill with a Santa face sticker over the president. Grandma always had ham left over from dinner, and we were invited to make ham sandwiches with mustard on rye. The taste I most remember, however, is Grandma's German potato salad. So tangy and tasty, a taste I've never been able to replicate. There was no recipe left when she passed because, of course, she made everything from memory. After a while, we packed up to leave in Dad's station wagon. I remember the feel of that cold pleather on my legs when we first got in the car. Soon, the heat kicked in, however, and along with the hum of the motor, it soon lulled us to sleep. In that light sleep, I can still hear the sound of the blinkers and the light crunch of the snow as we wound our way back home so we could get to sleep before Santa came to visit. Although I continue to enjoy Christmas every year, I've never been able to replicate this magic feeling, and I thank you for helping to evoke this memory with your awesome Christmas Past podcast.
The times they are a-changin', and not only in England, but here as well. A survey of 2,000 Americans found that we're getting a little bored of the typical Christmas routine. Many of us are showing interest in switching things up for Christmas dinner, including getting burgers, pizza, tacos, or Chinese food. Which I suppose I understand, but then again, you can get that stuff any time of year. Nearly 70% of those surveyed are interested in creating new Christmas customs unique to their family and friends, and some of the traditions people have expressed interest in phasing out include sending Christmas cards, ugly sweater parties, and Secret Santa exchanges. Speaking of creating customs, Jim in New York has done exactly that with his family.
Back in January, when it was time to take down our Christmas tree, my 11-year-old son said to me, "You know, Dad, it stinks that we only get to be Christmas jolly a few days out of the year." I agreed with him, and then it struck me. I said, "Well, what if we were to celebrate just a little bit of Christmas on the 25th of each month?" My wife looked at us and said, "So, you want to celebrate 25th-mas?" So, that's exactly what we've been doing. On the 25th of each month, we celebrate just a little bit of Christmas. It could be pancakes in the shape of a Christmas tree for breakfast, or maybe we just listen to some Michael Bublé in the car on the way to school, or maybe we go to dinner that night and then watch a Christmas special or a movie before bed. There might be a small gift here or there, but there's no expectation of one, or any expectation of one in return. There are no real rules around 25th-mas, but it usually involves us putting on a Santa hat at some point, or maybe a Christmas shirt or socks. No matter what actually happens on 25th-mas, it's always a day for us to look forward to something special every month, no matter what else is going on. My son is 12 now and could be very jaded about the holidays, but instead, he is looking forward to Christmas more than ever this year. Thank you, Brian, for the many hours of cheer you have brought all of us with your wonderful, positive, and thoughtful podcast. I wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, and the same to all of the Christmas Past listeners. Ho, ho, ho.
25th-mas. I like that. That survey, by the way, found that a good number of people also expressed interest in doing away with gift giving. I hear that. It can be a bit much. But then again, many a Christmas gift has the makings of a lasting Christmas memory. Long after the gift itself is gone, the memory stays, like this one from Richie in New York.
So growing up in New York, as a 7-year-old, Christmas was always the most magical time of the year. The cold air outside made everything feel crisp and alive, while inside, the warmth of family filled the house with laughter, love, and a whole lot of holiday cheer. That year, though, Christmas was even more special. You see, there was one thing I'd wished for more than anything else, a PlayStation 2. It wasn't just a gaming console to me. It was a portal to exciting new worlds, a treasure chest of endless possibilities that I had been dreaming about for months. On Christmas morning, I ran down the stairs, my heart racing with anticipation. The tree was glowing, and presents were piled underneath it, each one a mystery waiting to be unraveled. My parents, with their knowing smiles, handed me a rectangular box wrapped in shimmering red paper. I tore it open with the energy only a kid on Christmas morning can muster, and there it was, finally the PlayStation 2. I could hardly believe it. My small hands clutched the box, my eyes wide with pure joy. I remember my dad kneeling down to help me set it up, patiently connecting it to the TV while I practically jumped up and down, waiting for the first game to load. When the familiar ding of the PlayStation logo appeared on the screen, it was like the universe itself had aligned perfectly for me. But it wasn't just the PlayStation that made that Christmas unforgettable. It was the way my parents watched me, laughing and smiling at how excited I was. It was the way my family came together later that day, playing games, sharing meals, and basking in the warmth of the season. Christmas to me has always been about that feeling of connection, of joy shared with loved ones and memories made together. Even now, as an adult, I look forward to Christmas every single year. It's not just about the gifts under the tree, but the love and magic that surround them. That PlayStation 2 wasn't just a gift. It was a symbol of my parents' love and their desire to make my childhood magical. And every Christmas since, no matter how old I get, the season unlocks this same sense of wonder and excitement in me. It reminds me of that joy of being a child and the love that binds us all together. So thank you for always unlocking my inner child and giving me a reason to celebrate the magic of the season year after year. Thank you, Christmas.
Let's finish things out with a little update from here at Christmas Past headquarters. If you follow me on social media, you may have seen me announce the news. I have another book coming out next year. The title is Of Christmases Long, Long Ago, and it's all about Christmas traditions from the distant past. I'm really excited about this one. It was a lot of fun to write, it'll be published in full color, and include original illustrations. Like with my first book, it'll be available in hardcover and audiobook. Stay connected with me for updates throughout the year, and especially as we approach the fall of 2025. As for the littlest reindeer, our son Dashiell is 4 years old now and celebrating his 5th Christmas. This will probably be one of the first Christmases he remembers. He wrote his first letter to Santa, asking for Transformers. I loved Transformers as a child, and it's funny how sharing Christmas with your child can feel a bit like reliving your own childhood Christmases. Speaking of Santa, Dash also had his photo taken with the man himself and insisted on wearing his favorite dinosaur costume, made for a cute and funny picture. As in previous Christmases, a magical Christmas goose visits our house while we sleep every night throughout the season to leave Dash a small gift and a note about the festive goings-on at the enchanted pond where she lives. Dashiell, can you tell me who the Christmas goose is?
A goose.
What does she do?
She delivers presents while you're sleeping.
What else does she do?
She gives everyone presents and goes back to the enchanted pond.
Where does she go?
The enchanted pond.
The enchanted pond? And what's her friend's name?
Olivia Tailfeather.
Miss Lavinia Tailfeather? Yeah? Do you like the Christmas goose?
Yeah.
This wasn't quite the year where Dash could sit still through something like a production of The Nutcracker or a Christmas pageant. Oh well, there's always next year. And that was Christmas of 2024. Thank you for another wonderful year, whether you're a new or longtime listener. Thanks to everyone who listened, who shared a Christmas memory, who reached out to me to say hi and Merry Christmas. I even exchanged Christmas cards with many of you. This family of ours has grown year after year, and I'm grateful for each of you. And as always, I believe that the best is yet to come. I'd like to thank Mark, Anne, Dan, Ryan, Allison, Mira, Mary, Richie, and Jim for sharing memories in this episode. And as always, I'd like to thank you for listening. We can stay in touch all year. I'd love that. You can always write me at christmaspastpodcast@gmail.com. We can connect on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, and Threads. And we'll see about getting on TikTok in 2025. Maybe. I've been putting that off. Join the private Christmas Past Facebook group if you haven't yet, and sign up for my email newsletter at christmaspastpodcast.com because, just between you and me, that's where you'll get all the exclusive announcements about book giveaways next year. This is Brian Earl signing off for 2024, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and until we meet again, may your days be merry and bright.